The sea doesn't like being followed, and sometimes those who chase it become part of it. In March 1727, the French Royal Navy launched what became known as the Bellot Expedition, an official operation to investigate the growing number of reports concerning the Revenant, the corsair lost 9 years earlier. 3 ships were assigned, the La Dauphine, the Saint-Pierre, and the Aurore. The fleet was commanded by Captain René Bellot, an experienced and pragmatic officer, known for his discipline and skepticism. He had read the rumors of the phantom ship and dismissed them as rum and sailors' tales. But curiosity and duty drove him to accept the mission. On April 12, 1727, the expedition departed from Brest with 180 men, scientific instruments, and written orders from the Admiralty. Locate, document, and if possible, recover any remains proving the existence of the vessel known as Le Revenant. The first week was uneventful. Bellot's logs described calm waters, steady winds, and a strange stillness that unsettled the crew. He wrote, "The sea seems too quiet. There is an absence of sound that disturbs the men. Even the sails crack as though muffled beneath glass." By the 8th day, the compass aboard the Saint-Pierre began to spin slowly, without direction. A replacement instrument showed the same behavior. Astronomical readings also failed. Constellations appeared displaced, as if the sky itself had shifted. On May 11th, around 3 in the morning, a lookout aboard La Dauphine shouted, "Lights to port!" Bellot ordered reduced speed and a tight formation. In the distance, they saw several lanterns aligned in a row, like a ship's deck illuminated at night. No flag, no sound, no visible sails. The lights moved against the wind. The Aurore, sailing nearest, approached within 800 meters and signaled using a mirror. No reply. Moments later, the mysterious vessel extinguished its lights, and the sea fell silent. By sunrise, the horizon was empty. But the water around the French ships had changed. Small spirals of floating algae circled aimlessly, forming silent eddies. Bellot described them as dead currents, motion without pull, like the sea spinning in thought. On May 16th, 5 days after the sighting, the Aurore disappeared. There was no battle, no storm, no distress signal. Crewmen aboard La Dauphine and Saint-Pierre reported seeing a sudden mist engulf the ship. When it cleared, the Aurore was gone. The Saint-Pierre fired a cannon signal, but what came back was only the echo, the exact same sound, returning as if the sea itself were repeating it. Bellot wrote in his log, "The sound returned to us. The sea replied in our own voice." From that moment, the fleet was divided. The Saint-Pierre was ordered to return to Brest with part of the logs, while Bellot and La Dauphine continued the search. He believed the phenomenon was somehow linked to the Le Revenant. Between May 12th and 18, Bellot recorded several sets of coordinates, all pointing to a still, windless region known by sailors as the Sea of Silence. It was a place where even the birds refused to fly. "We've reached a point where the sea does not move. The sails hang still, yet the ship advances. No noise, no life, no horizon. It feels as if the world has stopped to listen." On May 20th, he added another entry. "The men are afraid. Some claim to hear voices from below. Others say they've seen shapes moving under the hull. I see nothing, but I feel the sea breathing." The official log of Captain René Bellot ends abruptly on May 22, 1727. The last words, written with a trembling hand, read, "The horizon is gone. There is no more sky, only reflection. I think we have found it. It is looking at us." La Dauphine was never seen again. No wreckage, no survivors, nothing. 4 months later, in September 1727, fishermen near the Canary Islands found a sealed glass bottle, identical to the one that had contained Captain Moreau H.S. diary. Inside was a new manuscript, signed René Bellot, Captain. The first pages mirrored his official logs, but halfway through the handwriting changed, hurried, fragmented, almost delirious. "We are surrounded by ourselves. The sea reflects the ship, but it is another. There are men on deck who look like us, but they are not us. Later, the sea speaks with Moreau's voice. It says time is over. It says we too will return. The final sentence read, "The wind is back, but it blows from within." The Bellot Report, as it became known, was compiled from the remaining ship's journals and communications. It was delivered to the French Admiralty in 1728. The conclusion was concise. The expedition failed to locate Le Revenant. However, several maritime phenomena of unknown origin were recorded. It is recommended that all further investigations be suspended indefinitely. The area in question should be avoided by all French vessels. Classification: confidential. The report remained sealed for nearly 2 centuries, buried in naval archives. But in 1934, an amateur historian found a copy and published excerpts in a local paper. The article ended with what he claimed was Bellot's final remark. The sea does not want to be seen, it wants to be remembered. In 1968, French naval researchers testing sonar near the same coordinates picked up an unexplained sound. A sequence of 5 rhythmic pulses followed by silence. The frequency matched that of the historical Le Revenant logs and the 1730 recordings from West Africa. The team named the anomaly the Bellot Echo. To this day, its source remains unknown. The Bellot expedition was the last official attempt to locate the Le Revenant. After its disappearance, the French Navy permanently banned further research in that region. But the ocean kept it secret. Even now, fishermen and sailors claim that on still nights, between the swells of the mid-Atlantic, one can hear the same pattern captured by sonar more than 2 centuries ago. 5 beats, a pause, and a voice. Distant, calm, unmistakable. Captain Moreau.